So when we drove up to the site today, we're told to come to Pod 6 location at the Freeport High School football stadium, and this was the only place that had some shelter under it. When we drove up, we looked at the site and tried to decide where the safest place to set up was. And so we had a small space on the right side of this building, but we chose not to set up there because of the incoming power feed and a potential safety issue. And so we chose to set up here closer to the left-hand side, away from the low voltage power lines. And this way, if the wind were to blow the antenna, it would fall against the building and not against the power lines. So it's very important to survey your site when you drive up and look for overhead power lines and where your antenna mast might actually fall if the wind were to blow it over. So one thing is that the telescoping mast does not fit into the tripod mount with the plastic cap on the end, so you have to take it off. So this just slides over the top post. The coax is usually stored with a barrel connector inside, so if we need to add more coax onto the end, we can. So this is not in the kit. I'm going to put a piece of tape here to relieve stress from pulling that off the stress on the connector. So these are low voltage power lines above us, a telephone line. We're watching to make sure that we looked over the area to make sure there were no high voltage lines. We have two batteries. We'll try the first one. So that's showing we've got about 12 volts on that battery. Okay, antenna connection there's only one connection in the back. So we're going to press that in. So these radios show the voltage when you power them on, so we have 12.6 volts reading. And so it's already set on channel 1, 147.180. So inside the kit is the frequency list with the channel numbers, channel assignments. That list is stored behind the foam in the lid, along with the radio manual and the power supply manual. The back side has the UHF frequencies, and the front side has VHF. And they're all by channel number. So the channel number is the small number on the top left-hand corner. You can see Ron changing the channel selector knob, the channel number changes. And that's the channel number here on the sheet. To change the power on these radios, there's no power button, it just says low, ACC. So give it one push, it'll show you where you are, and you can cycle through. So each time I push it, it changes it. Now I'm on low power. So again, each time I push it, it'll cycle through. And so we'll try low power and see if we can hit the repeater that way first. That way it saves the battery. K5WM1. So full scale on the repeater, so that should work from our location. So this is the 800 megahertz trunking radio for the county health system. It's a Motorola XTS 1500, and it has two basic controls. It has a power on-off and volume knob, and a channel knob. And the channel knob should be all the way in the counterclockwise position. And the channel that we're using today is channel A, Health, for the health department. The small display in the upper left-hand corner is a signal strength indicator from the 800 megahertz trunking system. And so we'll be demonstrating this later in our pod setup this morning. So when the 800 megahertz trunking radio for the county health system, when it is talking to the trunking tower, it gives you a two-tone double beep. One more time. So that double beep, when I key the transmit button, means that the radio is talking to the trunking system and it's receiving the trunking system. Just to demonstrate what it sounds like when it's not talking to the system, it gives you a long, loud tone, which I'll demonstrate. So that means that it cannot talk to the trunking system. So we're trying to set up our packet station here so we can communicate email through the WinLink system. And we have a VHF radio here that is tuned to 145.010. We have our packet TNC and our laptop computer. And so the first thing we did was set up the system and connect our external antenna. And I noticed right away that I was receiving a signal, which I shouldn't be. So I went and got my handy-talkie and tuned it to the packet frequency, which is 145.010, and I'm getting a full-scale signal. And when you listen to it, there's a full-scale signal on 145.010. And as I tune around, so there's another signal on the same frequency I'm trying to use. It's likely coming from some electrical interference in the area, but basically I cannot use this frequency because there's there's additional noise transmitting at the same time, which will block my receiver from working. So it's always good to carry an extra handy-talkie with you. Otherwise I would have never known, because this is not a frequency agile radio. So.